Let's bring in James Dorsey now in Singapore, who is observing all of this with us. He is an adjunct senior fellow at the Rajaratnam School of International Studies. James, I'm not sure if you're able to see these pictures that we're looking at, but you know, when you watch things like this, you kind of sort of try to read between the lines of how long each leader is spending with each one of these people. We earlier saw Elon Musk very briefly shaking hands with the president, and then with MBS, all too brief it seemed, but then he seems to be spending more time with some of the other leaders. I don't know if there's anything too much to read into that, but it's clear that business opportunities and investment opportunities are very much at the forefront of this visit.
Well, clearly this is something that Trump wants. He wants business deals to come out of this. Remember that the idea for this trip started with Trump pointing out that he had secured $400 to $500 billion in his first term from Saudi Arabia, and that was what persuaded him to travel to Saudi Arabia as the first country, as on his first overseas trip in his first term. He's doing that again after he played the same game. He basically said, they paid me then $500 billion, 500, yeah. And if they want to do that again, I'll be happy to go there another time. The next day, this was in January, just after his inauguration, the next day, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman said, I'm going to invest $600 billion in the United States over a period of 4 years. A day later, Trump, speaking to the World Economic Forum, said, make it $1 trillion. So these deals are clearly up front. You're seeing the major tech billionaires from the United States in Saudi Arabia, tech billionaires like Elon Musk in Saudi Arabia at the same time that Trump is there for the US-Saudi Investment Forum. So yes, these kind of deals add to that Saudi Arabia itself has an interest here. The Saudis, like the United Arab Emirates, have made very clear that they want to be on the cutting edge of technology. They want to be artificial intelligence hubs, and that they are their preferential partner in becoming AI hubs is the United States.
And as far as some of the major political and diplomatic issues in the region, we talked a little bit about the ongoing war in Gaza. This is something that is very much on the minds of people in the wider Middle East. And this is, you know, you talked about the Abraham Accords. These are the deals that President Trump made in his first term with a number of Arab nations. He was obviously hoping to build on that this time around, but it will be hard, wouldn't it, for MBS to make any movement on that, given the public anger in the Arab world right now over Israel's conduct of the war in Gaza and the suffering of Palestinians?
Well, I think you've got to keep in mind this was essentially a three-way deal. In other words, it was a defense commitment by the United States to Saudi Arabia. It was a U.S. support for a Saudi nuclear program, and in exchange for that, Saudi Arabia would recognize Israel. Saudi recognition of Israel is not going to happen anytime soon. It certainly is not going to happen as long as the Gaza war is continuing, and as long as there is no irreversible pathway towards a resolution of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict in the form of an independent Palestinian state. But those things, while now interlinked, need not be interlinked. With other words, you could see a deal on U.S. support for the Saudi nuclear program that's independent of relations with Israel. And that's true by the same token for the defense relationship between the United States and Israel. Although that may prove to be more complicated in that if you need congressional approval for a defense agreement between the two countries, then supporters of Israel in the Congress are going to demand that it be linked to Saudi recognition of the state of Israel.
All right, James Dorsey, live for us there, speaking about the U.S. President's tour of the Middle East region.